Welcome to Time with Your Banker and Financial Advisor, sponsored by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, and supported by Belacqua. This evening, we're going to discuss banking from the aspect of the professionals. We have with us the CEO of the Chartered Institute of Bankers, Mr. Pong. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
For quick and easy banking on your mobile, like checking your balance or transferring money, use our mobile banking services today. To find out more, visit us online at ecobank.com. Move on up with EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Welcome back, viewers, to this evening's program, sponsored by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. As I've already indicated, with me today in the studio is Mr. Antonio Pong, the CEO of the Chartered Institute of Bankers. Sir, you are welcome.
Thank you very much.
It's my pleasure having you here on the program.
Oh, I'm also privileged to be here this evening.
Yes, sir. Sir, the Institute, how long have you been in existence?
We've been around since 1963. We started in 1963 as a club. At that time, it was the members who had gone to study in the UK from Ghana, either on their own.
Studied banking in the UK?
Yeah, professional banking in the UK.
Yes, sir.
Either on their own or through government scholarship. When they came back, they came together as an alumni, called that sort of, and then established this club of professional bankers who had returned from studies in the UK. Basically, initially the idea was to fraternize, to network, share views and that kind of experiences on the job. Basically, that is how it started, and it remained that for some time. Around 1966, there was some attempt to try to introduce a banking school. But bankers,
very conservative,
and they get very busy, so they didn't get the time to really actually organize that kind of training school or whatever. And so it fizzled out. Around there was an attempt. That was 1966. They wanted to establish a banking school, but then that fizzled out because of time constraints on the part of the members. Then at that time, the London Institute, knowing that there was this group in Ghana, decided to adopt the group as a local center for the London Institute.
Okay.
So the Ghana, call it club or association or whatever later it became, now became a local center for the Chartered Institute of Bankers of London.
Oh, so it was the Ghanaians who initiated it?
It was the Ghanaians who initiated it here. And then the London Institute took over as a local center. Because at that time, most of the students who were studying professional banking were studying the UK professional banking.
Yeah.
They were here, but they were writing the external examination. Yeah. And so the London Institute felt that it's better they set up a center here to cater for the interests of their students in country, in Ghana. So that started. And then these people who had returned from studies in the UK offered to teach, to help their colleagues who were studying, to teach them. And so that's how the institute actually started. And it went on like that until 1973, when
that's 10 years on.
Yeah, 10 years on, good. When it was registered under the Professional Bodies Act or Professional Bodies Decree, NRCD 43 of 1973, when it became recognized professional body among the other professional bodies in the country.
Like the CA.
Yeah, exactly, professional body. So in 1973, it was registered under Professional Bodies Act or Professional Bodies Decree of NRCD National Redemption Council Decree 143. So after that, they were still writing the London examination.
They will register with London, study here in Ghana,
and then they write the examination here.
But the questions and everything
were brought
set
from
in
London here, and the examination was taken here. Then around 1978, at that time the Ghana Institute had come of age. That was some 15 to 20 years after the initial club was started in 1963. That come of age. So there was the agitation to sort of localize the examination, sort of ask for some kind of independence. So at that time,
because you have to change hard currency.
Exactly, to go and pay. That is as good. You are right. At that time, the examination was in two parts. The part one, which was referred to as the intermediate or stage one, and then the part two, which was the final stage. So we started with the intermediate, the stage one. In
78.
So we asked that the London should allow us to examine the stage one in country.
That was in 78.
That was 1978, and that was agreed. So we started examining the intermediate in country, but the stage two, the final one, was still conducted by the London Institute. Now, so this continued until 1993. When we finally also decided that we'll add the final stage in country. In other words, we examined the part two also locally. So they also agreed. And then Ghana took over completely both stage one and stage two. But even at that stage...
That is 30 years on.
Yeah.
After the club...
After the clubs had started in 1963. Yeah. But even that... The examination questions were still moderated by the London Institute. Were sort of under supervision, sort of, by the London Institute. That continued.
I remember those years.
Exactly. That continued for some time before we were completely weaned off and made totally independent, and then we took over.
When was our independence granted?
Oh, I mean, that is, we totally weaned off from the... Well, ideally, when we started examining the stage two after 1993, it was assumed that we had they were only doing supervision over us, which, we were paying them for that service. Yeah. So basically, from 1993... They were still moderating. They were still moderating, exactly. They were still moderating. They moderated for some time before we were able to build local capacity in country, and then handed over for them, and they completely... broke off around mid to latter part of 1990s. Yeah.
Then the bank, it's come far from
yes, we have.
Being just a small club initiated by young bankers
who had returned from their studies in the UK. Yeah.
And then way back to 93, we having our autonomous.
Yes.
And then running the institute so far. I see. So far, how are things with the institute? Yeah,
currently there's been a lot of developments over the year. There's been a lot of changes. Like I told you, initially we had two parts examination: the part one or the stage one or the intermediate, and then the final or the part two. Along the line, as banking evolved, there were new
concepts coming up.
New things coming up.
I remember those days, the part two, I think, were 6 papers.
Yeah, there were 6, initially went to 7, now it was 8.
And it was the intermediary that was rather...
That was the stage 1, that was 6.
It went to 6.
6, exactly. And then this one was 8. Yeah.
So now, we were writing 14
at that time. Yeah, 14 paper. Well, later on, there were some optional subjects that you needed to choose between development banking, investment, and that kind of thing. Yeah. But then now we've also the curriculum has changed again. Now we don't have the part 1 and then part 2, or the stage 1 and the stage 2 anymore. That stopped in 2012. Where there was a new curriculum was ushered in.
That's not too quite.
Not too long ago.
Not too long ago. It's quite recent.
In fact, the idea to
2012 is quite recent.
Yeah, quite recent. Yes, but the idea was mooted in the 2007-2008. But we gave the students who were on the old program 4 years window
That's
for them
a lot
to either
of time.
migrate or to complete, so that the new program. So those who came after that time were put on the new program. But those who were on the old program were allowed to continue, provided they were able to finish by 2012 or be migrated onto the new program. The current program has 4 levels.
4 levels.
4 levels. The current program has 4 levels. We have levels 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now the level 1 and 2 are what we normally refer to as the foundation levels. Where we learn a general principle about business, business studies, general banking, and the level 1 has 5 papers.
Level 1, 5 papers.
5 papers. We have principles of law, banking law or law. We have economics. We have banking operations and ethics. We have principles of management, and then I think that's about 5 or so.
Yeah, you've mentioned law, operations, management.
Economics.
Economics.
Yeah, economics. Yeah.
And the 5th one? Accountancy.
You are right. Accountancy, yes. And the 5th one, accountancy. Good. Thank you. Yeah. So that's the level 1 papers. Now, when you go to level 2, we also have another 5 papers at level 2 currently, and that is law relating to banking.
The law guru.
Yeah, another law paper. We have the management practices. That's the advanced form of management. Yeah, that's a practice. The first one is just the principles. We have the management practices.
The first one is just like an intro.
Yeah, intro, exactly. We have the management practices. We have the monetary and financial system. Okay. We have a customer service or marketing, and then we have quantitative methods. These days you can't do away with the, having being enumerate. Yeah. So we have a paper on quantitative method. That's also another 5 papers at level 2. So these 2 foundation levels give you the basis, business, to be able to have a very solid understanding of business. Banking. Yeah, business. Before you move on to the professional stage, where it's actually practice. You apply what was going to happen on the job. At the level 3, which is the beginning of the professional stage, we have 6 papers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, at the level 3. We have finance of international trade. We have bank strategy information management, which is management information system as applicable in the banking in the service sector, banking sector. We also have financial analysis, which is an advanced form of accounting. Yeah, financial analysis. We have credit management, what we refer to as lending. Yeah, lending, yes, which is a core banking. Yeah. And then we have treasury management.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Like the monetary and financial system, but advanced.
Yeah, the proper treasury management. Yeah, we have treasury, market operations, and treasury. And then we also have law and practice of banking. Yeah, law and practice of banking.
That is lending 1.
Yeah, lending
in the
1.
Old
the old
system.
We used to call it practice of banking 1.
Yeah,
law and practice. Yeah, that is it. So we have those. Those are what we call as the professional stage.
Okay.
So once you complete this, at least you will be able to appreciate what actually
goes on in the banking industry.
Exactly.
Now, and it can make you work comfortably as you understand banker. What you are doing as a professional banker. Yeah.
Exactly.
You are not just sitting there and then passing vouchers or pressing buttons here and there. But you understand what you are doing
as a banker.
And you can be confident that people can have confidence in you.
Yeah.
That indeed you are working.
Yes, exactly. Now the level 4 or the final level is just a specialization.
Okay.
In these days, when you go to, the banking sector or in the bank, people are now boxed into departments, functions, whatever. Some people say that they are corporate bankers. People say they are treasurers. The operation staff, commercial banking, retail banking, rural banking, and so on and so forth. So at the level 4, we give people the opportunity or the option to specialize in which areas that they feel comfortable with. are in line with their career aspirations.
Okay.
Yes. So we have various areas that one of the major areas is the commercial banking or retail banking. And then we look at marketing, advancement of marketing. We look at rural banking and microfinance. We look at sales, you know.
That's more related to customer service.
Exactly, the customer service. We look at that. We even with the growing economy and new things coming up. Now we have pension funds and things like that. We even have an option for custodial and trustee services, you know, to cater for those who want to work in fund management organizations, pension funds that are now coming up. So we have an option for that, where we look at trust administration, we look at fund management and things like that. So we have that option. So those who are working in investment banking arena, they can go into that area. We
can
have
go
that.
Maybe get they can channel their energy into
the area,
pensions or fund management or trustees.
Exactly, trusteeship of custodial services and things like that. We have that option. We also have an option even for real estate. Those who are into mortgage finance, we also do that. We have that option there. So those who want to go to mortgage finance and estate valuation and things like that, property valuation and all kind of, we have an option also that at the level 4. So that those who are in mortgage institutions like HFC Bank, like home loans, things like, or even some of the estate developers, those the big ones, they also engage some of those our graduates from that area. We do have that one. And then we have another one for corporate and international banking. We also appreciate the fact that we do have a group in the system that requires special needs. For example, the multinational companies. Yeah, their needs are different from the local, especially the international organizations, the embassies, the diplomatic area, those kind of things. So we have a paper, a session for, we call it a multinational corporate finance and investment, where we look at corporate law, lending, international, cross-border lending and cross-border transactions and things like that. They look at all that. We also do a little bit of investment and then fund. So we also have a session like that at the level 4. So we have quite a number of options. In fact, even currently, we are even reviewing the syllabus as I'm talking to you now, trying to bring in new things that are coming up. Which probably we'll
like risk management.
Risk management, we are looking at that. We are looking at even professionalism and ethics as a complete model, because of the need that bankers now must be ethically upright and professionally qualified. Have a lot of ethical behavior. So we are looking at all that as the next. We also look at digital banking as which is the trend now. So we have all those kind of options available for people wanting to branch into any of these areas.
So how many papers must one write?
Currently, under the new program, there are 19 subjects in all. 5 level 1, 5 level 2, 6 level 3, and then 3 level 4. So the level 4 papers are 3. They are 3. But with the new curriculum, which is currently being reviewed, we are cutting down to about 15. 15. What we are going to do is that we're going to have levels 1, 2, and 3. Level 1, 2, and 3. Now the level 4 or current level 4 will be an optional area where you go and pick 1 or 2 subjects depending on the area that you are interested or where you are working or your career path. So we have about maximum 15 to 16 papers, and that will start from about next year. So now we've moved from the 14 papers to 19, and then we are coming back to
14 to 19, and then we are coming back to either 15 or
16 thereabout.
16. We'll take a short break. Viewers will take a short break. We'll be right back.
For quick and easy banking on your mobile, like checking your balance or transferring money. Use our mobile banking services today. To find out more, visit us online at ecobank.com. Move on up with EcoBank, the Pan-African bank.
Welcome back, viewers. This program is sponsored by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, and supported by Belacqua and Ed Pizza. Ed Pizza. If you want mouth-watering pizza, you better check out Ed Pizza. They have 6 branches now. They have 1 branch in Tema, Spintex, Ring Road Central, East Legon, and Wager. For mouth-watering, sumptuous pizza, look out for Ed Pizza. Sir?
Yeah.
We're still on the Institute.
Good.
And before we took our break, you were talking about 19 subjects, now cut down to either 15 or 16. How long will one need to finish this 14 and 16?
It depends on the individual. What we currently do is that we have a system of granting exemptions to some of our students. In fact, if you have a university degree,
I was coming to that. I wanted to ask, what's the entry point?
Yeah. We have the maximum period that we give for people to do the course is 7 years. That's the maximum.
Okay.
And then the minimum is up to you. You can even finish in 1 year. If you have, but the maximum. But
15 papers in 1 year. That person should be a shark.
Yeah. So the maximum is 7 years. But depending on one's background, one gets some exemptions, and that will determine whether you have to take it for 5 years or 4 years or even 3 years or less. Yeah.
So what's the entry point? But before that, does it mean you can go beyond the 7 years?
No. That's the maximum that we that's the maximum that we give. It's decided that within 7 years you should be able to finish.
You should be able to finish.
An average person should be able to finish. And that is even for those who start from the level one, the very beginning. That those if you are starting from level 2 or level 3, you have less number of years.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
But sir, what's the entry point?
The entry point we have currently we admit SSCE. They are what we call the straight entry or the full time. We have SCC with aggregate up to 24 in 3 credits, and then at the core, and then 3 credits at the elective. You can come. You also have a diploma, like a diploma in business studies. You can also be admitted to level 1. If you have HND, also you have admission. But the HND, it will depend on what kind of HND you did. Because if you did a business-related HND program, like say accountancy, management, or something, you can, or marketing, or you can be exempted from some of the papers.
In level 1.
In level 1, the same thing as a degree. You can also, with a degree, have a degree in banking and finance, for example. You get the exemption from levels 1 and 2. If you have in any other business course other than a banking and finance, you can get exemption from the whole of level 1 and maybe subject for subject in some of the other levels in level 2.
That is if you have first degree.
You have first degree. But if you have a master's degree, for example, MBA, you also get exemption from levels 1 and 2. But if you have an MSc, which is not business related, you can only get exemption from level 1. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we have those kind of options. Yeah.
So level, for if you did BA accounting, you get exemption from
the whole of level 1.
The whole of level 1. But you in level 2, you have to pick some subjects, or
no, you write all the subjects.
You write all the subjects.
Unless sometimes we also look at your transcript.
Okay.
If there's a particular course that we do, which we covered adequately at the university. Let's say we did about 70 to 90% is covered by our syllabus. You can be given subject for subject exemption in that particular, but that's on case by case basis.
Okay.
Yeah, we look at all.
So
that,
with first degree, you starting from level 2.
That is if it's a business related.
If it is business
if you
related.
did non-business related, let's say you did a BA in religious studies or archaeology,
okay, or
you
sociology or something.
maybe asked to start from
That
level
means
1.
you don't have any
business background. Exactly. God, that is basically.
But what if that person had business background in SS?
No. SS. When you are entering with the SS, you start from level 1. So we don't take the SS for exemptions. No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
It must be an
but
advanced.
if you have MBA,
yeah, you get exemption from levels 1 and 2.
Levels 1.
Yeah.
But must it be related, business related?
Well,
because somebody can do MBA.
MBA is business related.
But you know, anyway, it could be in either finance, accounting, or
even if it can even be in project management or whatever. I still have a lot of business content. Yeah.
But sir, you know, sometimes some engineering students, they may start first degree with engineering, then do MBA in finance, and when they come in and they are to do level 3, how do they manage?
Yeah, you see the levels 1 and 2.
Because the foundation is not there.
Well, if you listen to the subjects at the levels 1 and 2, they are foundation subjects. I mean, economics, accounting.
This is somebody who hasn't done economics, hasn't done accounting.
Yeah, but some of these subjects are repeated at the later stages.
Okay.
Maybe in a more advanced form. But with their background from maybe engineering as well as MBA, they should be able to.
They should.
Cope. Yeah,
they should, because they are more maths related.
Yeah.
The only problem they may be having is the reading subjects.
Well, yeah. Or the technical banking subjects. But they should be able to cope with that. Yeah.
But says, if somebody has doctorate degree, where does it start from?
Well, if you have a doctorate degree and it's not business related, the best you can start with maybe level 2.
Wow.
Yeah.
Level 2?
Yeah, the best, yeah.
Isn't it disheartening?
No, because we still have people who have PhD on the program. They even prefer, for some of them even want to start from that. See, they want to get the grounding. They don't want to assume that because they hold PhDs in maybe zoology or botany or medicine, they still want to if they opted to do the banking, then they want to understand it from the fundamentals. So they would rather, they are the people who doesn't even want to jump. Because I had a student, I won't mention his name, he's a very popular person. But I
think I know that student.
Well, don't
we are not talking about him.
Yeah, he came in, and with his background, his pedigree and that kind of thing. He said he wanted to start from, because he needed it to go and do something.
Yeah.
And he wanted to understand it. So he started from level 1, started from the rudimentary and went through it. But he has a very good background, which even if I started from level 3, I'd say he would have still made it. So it depends. You see, it depends on the individual, you understand. So experience, we've seen that once they've done the MBA, at least they have the general appreciation of the business fundamentals, and they'll be able to cope with the later subjects here.
Viewers, as the program becomes interesting, or as the discussion becomes interesting, time also runs.
Yeah.
We'll have to end today's episode here. We'll meet the same time next week on Time with Your Banker and Financial Advisor, sponsored by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. Catch you same time next week.